in 3 years, I've only seen a bat go after one of these orbs, and the bat that did it got within about maybe 2 feet distance of it, and it did an immediate 360-degree turn and went back the way it came from. I figure the orb has probably got some electrical, you know, discharge or some kind of shielding around it. No, the most incredible thing that's happened to me as far as the orbs go, I have an orb that it's in a bunch of my videos. It's the only one that's visible without infrared. You do not need infrared to see it. I've seen it with my naked eye one time, and it's dark. Doesn't show up very well, but it can come up and flash you right in the face. And it's the fastest thing that you've ever seen. You've never seen anything this fast. And it's got a sense of humor. But one night I was sitting on the back of the truck, and I film off you know what an LMTV is?
No, not really.
It's a big troop transfer military truck. It's a military truck that sits, I forget, 18 people in the back,
There's one
3 in the
there,
front.
right
It weighs 16,000 pounds. Well, it's way off the ground, so I put a recliner up in the bed of this truck, and that's what I record off of because it's stable, and then it keeps me out of the mosquitoes. I hate putting on bug spray. Man, I get it in my eye all the time. I hate that.
Yeah.
And then you smell. So the truck, with it being a diesel truck, the mosquitoes don't like it anyway, so I might get 1 or 2 mosquitoes, you know, come flying up, and that's about it. But I'm sitting on the truck just filming the orbs one night. Something hits the truck and it shakes it. The whole entire truck shakes. It shook me. And I'm thinking, at the time, I said, well, must be one of the dogs hit it in the yard, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized that, hey, this truck, you can't move this truck. And then I got to looking at the video, and I rewound it. I captured the orb just before it struck the truck. You can actually see it hitting. So I thought about it, and we took a metal detector. We thought, man, we got a miniature Roswell out here in the yard. You know, they're going to be little pieces of UFO out here somewhere in the ground because it struck it so hard, you know. There wasn't a mark on the truck. There ain't nothing in the yard. We found every beer tab from 1970 out there. And, yeah, the only thing I can figure out,
right?
it's got a force field around it. So about a week later, I captured a video of it, real close, playing around in my face. I mean, it's real fast. And you can clearly see there's like a shell on the outside, and the orb is on the inside.
Oh,
so
wow.
It's almost, you can see the shielding on the orb. So that was what it was, but I think it was a demonstration. I don't think it was an accident because it couldn't drive, you know. I don't think it lost its way and just rammed into the truck. I think it's intentional.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking about that too, but at the time I had a friend of mine that said, you know what, we could try to capture that thing and we could knock it down, you know, maybe with a shotgun and electrify it somehow, you know. And I'm like, dude, I don't think you might want to do that. It was probably about that time frame to where that thing ran into the side of the truck, and probably that was a demonstration showing me that you're not going to do anything to me. So
yeah. Now I popped up that I thought I did. I popped up that second one on your account for that on X. And I believe I've got
it's coming directly overhead.
I know, here it is. Let me stop that one real quick. It's the second one that you showed on X. I'm going to put that up real quick because I know you wanted to show that one too. I was only able to get the first one going, so.
Well, that's okay.
But that one right there, I just looked over it and I didn't realize I hadn't switched the OBS over to it, so.
Yep.
I figured I'd let everybody see what this is. This one is actually pretty interesting because when you were just talking, I could see like
big orb with a mark on it right here. Well, he's really close. You can keep up with him.
And see, this brings me. It reminds me
Another
of
one of the
the
dark
stories
spot
I've heard
right
about over in over
feather.
here in what do they call that? The forest right next
Just
to us
hanging
in
out.
Missouri. Cape Girardeau.
Yeah,
It goes
yeah.
right over my head.
Because they have a lot of sightings of orbs over there too. I'm having a brain fart. I can't even remember it. And it's like
Well,
right next to me.
my orb, the one that hangs out with me, it's always something different every week. Something will change. There'll be a new UFO will show up. This week it's been the symbols on the orb, and then now I have these blue UFOs. I mean, they're pure blue, but none of
Big
them
orb
have
with a
come down
mark
low
on it,
enough yet.
right
I can
here.
see them. They're probably sitting at 30,
Well, he's really
40,000 feet
close.
going across.
Mm-hmm.
Keep up
None
with
of
you.
them have come down close yet, but it's a matter of time. They probably will. Everything else does, so I
Another
don't
one
know
with a
why
dark spot
they
right
wouldn't. Um,
there. Is that feller?
but I've got a compilation of intervention, or what do you call it when you're sitting there?
Just hanging out.
It'll flash you, and you flash it
It
back, and
goes
then
right
back
over
and
my
forth.
head.
And
Oh,
I've got thousands of those too.
no, that reminds me. When you were talking about that earlier, it reminds me of what's his name, Doctor. What's his? I forgot his.
Greer,
Yeah, Greer. He talks
yeah,
about doing meditation and stuff like that. Do you think that stuff is possible when it comes to it, like being able to talk to these?
I don't know. They had a get together. The CE5 people did, and it looked like, what do you think? 40
Big
people
orb
in
with a
that
mark on it
video,
right
honey?
here.
Yeah.
Probably around 40 people
Well, he's
met out
really
here on the
close.
beach somewhere. I think it was
Keep
North
up with
Carolina. And, between all that meditating stuff, the only thing I seen, it could have been a
you.
ship
Another one with a
sliding
dark
out there
spot right
blinking
there.
at them.
Yeah.
I mean, literally.
Is that feller?
If you got that many people meditating, I want that thing to put down 3 landing gears and land in the sand next to me and get out and,
Exactly.
Just hanging out.
hey, we come in peace,
It goes
Yeah.
right over
And
my head.
I walk out the door. The moment I walk out the door, they're already there. I don't have to wait on them. And then it's kind of like the first year I was doing it, I would be out there till 11 to 12, 1 o'clock in the morning filming this stuff. And they were showing up at 1 o'clock in the morning. They were showing up at 12 o'clock. And then after a while, it was like I don't know, maybe they realized that I was kind of tired out there, maybe.
Hmm.
And then I can get away with it. I can go out there and stay till 10 o'clock. I'm good to go. And it's been that way for a long time now. If I stay past 10 or 11, won't hardly see anything at all. Nothing. They've already done their thing in an hour and a half, and they're gone. And I'm back in the house watching TV, downloading videos, whatever. So at least they're nice about it.
Hmm. That's what I was asking you about with like keeping track with a watch and everything when that happens. Because I mean, the real question I'm wanting to ask is, do you think that maybe at some point they've freaking abducted you and put you back where you were?
No, I got an experience when I was a kid. If you remember the Pascagoula, Mississippi incident
Yeah.
back in 1973, you remember that?
Yeah.
Well, we lived in Memphis at the time, and I think I was about 5 or 6 years old. I wasn't very old, but I was terrified of the dark. I used to run into the bed, and I'd cover myself up with them covers, and I'd go to sleep. I didn't care if it was burning up in the house or not. I had to, just didn't like the dark at all. And one night, I just sat down in the bed, hadn't even got the covers up yet, and I looked at the window next to me, and there was a little. It was just like somebody was playing a cartoon projector on the window, and the window was literally right next to the bed. I mean, I could reach over and touch the bed. The bed was pushed all the way up into the wall, and the window's right there. And I ain't even laid down yet, and there's a little dang teddy bear cartoon going on right there, about 8 inches tall, and it just looked really clear. The clarity of it was something you just, back then I didn't know how to describe it. Nowadays, it was a laser hologram. That was exactly what it was. And I looked at that and I was thinking, what in the hell is a cartoon bear doing on my window like that? So I look over at it, and the next thing I know, there's somebody sitting on the foot of the bed, wearing white. Could have been Jesus for all I know. All I know, they had a white robe. It was a man. And I was like a little bit taken back by that, but then the curiosity of that teddy bear, I looked back at the teddy bear again, and teddy bear was gone, and I looked, and the guy was gone too. So the next morning was when they had that abduction, was all over the news. And I remember the TV reporter asking one of those guys if they'd been drinking, and the guy looked at the reporter and said, "No, ma'am, we ain't been drinking, but we had a few drinks after that."
Yeah.
And I remember that was all over the news at the time, and there was UFO sightings. The police were chasing after them in Memphis and Mississippi too. You know, Memphis is just right across the river, same area. And you know, I never did. I remember that for years and years and years. Still remember it like it was yesterday. But I never really thought about it. You know what I mean? Think about the experience that I had back then because I was so young. But I knew it happened, and I knew it was real, and it wasn't some imaginary thing. But the thing that I missed was it was about the same time frame as I started getting these migraine headaches. And they were so horrific, I couldn't pay attention in school. I just was just horrible. And I get these headaches, and it would hurt so bad I would throw up. I'd go lay in the bedroom. Mom would close the curtains down where no light could get in, and I would go into just about a coma for about 3 hours. And I'd wake up. My head didn't hurt anymore, but man, I could eat out the whole kitchen. If it was sweets or anything in the kitchen, I could eat the whole refrigerator, literally. And that went on until I was probably about 16 years old. And I just never put two and two together. And I know that, hell, I had to take remedial math and all that stuff in high school because I really couldn't add, subtract, or multiply. When I was a sophomore, I couldn't do it. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, I got brains and remembered everything. Now, I can't explain that. I mean, I'm still the same way. I remember just about everything. And I became a aircraft mechanic in the Air Force, and flying status, the whole 9 yards. And I was a crew chief. Great job, best job in the Air Force, as far as I'm concerned. You could get on the airplane and fly anywhere in the world. You didn't know where your plane was going to go. It could go to Australia next week, or be in England, or Germany. It was just all over the world, all over the United States. And here I am, 20-year-old kid, and I'm flying all over the world and getting paid for it. And I never did have any experiences with anything while I was in there. But when I moved down there, oh boy, yep, that's when I started really seeing stuff and paying attention to stuff. And actually, when I was younger, I found a landing spot where a saucer went down. It had crusted up the soil to where the soil, you know how they describe it, it turns the soil into where it won't absorb moisture. Mm-hmm. Nothing grew in a circle for 6 years, but, you know, I found it by accident when I was deer hunting in Tennessee, and I never put two and two together what that was. And I looked at the dirt, and it was such a mystery why it didn't grow any plants. And now we own the property. The property at the time was it belonged to the bank. The bank got it back in a foreclosure, I guess, and we own it now. But it grows grass. But I think Dad finally got tired of looking at it. Probably took the backhoe and scooped the dirt up and got some fresh dirt growing on top of it where it grows something, because it wouldn't grow anything. It was weird. I thought maybe a piece of equipment had dumped out the diesel fuel in the soil. Maybe that was why nothing would grow. And I was picking up the dirt, crumbling it around and smelling it. And that